Bears are in shambles as $10,000 per Bitcoin becomes a distant delusion that only exists in the tiny, teensy-weensy little brains of the baby bears. Yes, Bitcoin sets a new yearly high, breaking above its mid-April high, with the halving drawing closer and closer as we are seeing institutional interest pour in during a bear market, unlike anything we've ever seen before by far. The Bitcoin baby bulls have absolutely covered the baby bears in massive amounts of pumpage. But the pumping has only begun. Right now, the baby bulls continue to push Bitcoin to levels that we have not seen in over a year, with our very first touches above these price ranges in literally a year, shattering just by an itsy-bitsy little amount the mid-April highs. This is absolutely very big, and we have some breaking news to get into as well, and a sweet treat at the end of the video as well, so make sure to stay tuned to that as well. And I'm still longing this, as you guys know, currently up about 23,000 USD in profit. Links are below if you're interested in trading as well. But now, taking a squeak peek at Bitcoin's chart, we have managed to do something extremely big. As we were glued to the $30,000 level, we talked about a lot in yesterday's update video, but to be honest, there's so many things I want to get into in this, I don't even know where to start. We are seeing altcoins actually have pretty big pumps though, which is interesting, I believe, alongside Bitcoin, which I like to see a lot. And here's the thing, guys, this is not alt season, right? This is not the time where the alts will make the most gains, but when Bitcoin has these big moves, usually altcoins, get a little bit of momentum. And then at the end of Bitcoin's big moves, a lot of it flows into Ethereum and the top alts, and then some of the baby alts as well. And that's just the cycle we see over and over and over. I fully anticipate that to be the case as well over the next year, especially as we lead into the halving. But that brings me to my next point here. So first of all, we see here by CryptoCon on Twitter the 1 year plus HODL wave, where we see these massive bear market pivots like we saw here. Pretty much at the very beginning of 2022, we saw Bitcoin holders start to tick up, where people start holding their Bitcoin. And when we see the pivot from people, the new all-time highs, which we're currently at right now, of people holding their Bitcoin for a year or more, when we see that start to curve down, that basically begins the bull market. As he says here, 1 year plus holders continue to set record highs with no pivot in sight yet. One could come at any moment though, and then when it does, historically, that then begins the bull run. So we haven't started it yet in terms of this metric, and I fully agree that we have not started the true bull market yet. We're having a nice pump. I think, as I said yesterday, we're in the in-between zone between a bear and a bull market. We're kind of in the no-no zone, or should we say we could call it the bone zone even, one of my favorite terms. But just absolute maximum opportunity. So we saw back here, we see bull market pivots. Currently, I think we're probably going to see it start very soon here. We're at an all-time high for people holding Bitcoin for 1+ years, which is just gigantic. And Stock Money Lizard's talking about something which is something I've been talking about also over and over and over. The halving coming up as we see Bitcoin. Will it repeat what it did beginning in the 2012 halving, the 2016 halving, the 2020 halving, and the 2024 halving coming up? Are we about to see a move up into the halving and then afterwards a bull market? Well, everything would tell us yes, which is why I've said for the past few months, if the bears are going to bring Bitcoin price below 10K, it has to happen soon, because every month that goes by that Bitcoin holds key levels and in fact starts breaking up is less and less time that 10,000 is even possible. And at this point, again, the worst of the worst of the worst would need to happen for that to become even a fraction of a chance possible. Okay, no matter what, I'm not one of those people that will say something is impossible. Technically, it's possible. Could a delicious order of 12 hot wings come flying through my window right now and land directly in my mouth as I chew down on some yummy hot wings? Technically, that's possible. Do I think it's going to happen? No, of course not. I don't think it's going to happen. But could technically some delicious hot wings enter my mouth right now as I'm speaking and, be delicious and I enjoy every second of chowing down on them? Yeah, that's technically possible. In the same way that at 10,000 Bitcoin, this is possible, right? It's not very possible, but it's technically possible. And as we see here, we only have, months. We have probably around roughly 9-ish, about 10 or so months until we have this next halving. And if price kind of just trades sideways and slowly inches up even towards that halving, like we saw in the previous halvings, then this gets very big. Now, also, we've had a SEC allowing the launch of the first leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF in the U.S. This isn't necessarily really great news in my opinion. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I have mixed opinions on this right now, but again, the spot ETF is the one we want. The spot ETF is the one that actually requires the actual Bitcoin to be bought 1-to-1. Will even highlighting, so Gary's letting retail get leverage exposure to derivatives contracts, but not access to spot. Infinitely more dangerous. If you want to protect your customer, you would approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. But looking on Bitcoin's chart, as we talked about yesterday, in these initial breakouts in the past, just over the past couple of months, we've seen initial breakout very big and then a couple sideways and then continue breakout. And maybe that's what we're seeing here. At this very second, we have put in a higher high, breaching the highs of April. So that's interesting to watch. It's good to watch. I'm still cautious. Obviously, there is so much support below us, and it's something I talked about at length in yesterday's video, that even when we do get an inevitable pullback, I'm not concerned whatsoever. There are so many gigantic levels of support that I just think each and every one of those dumps, if we get them, I would just be adding or opening up long positions, is how I'm viewing this. This market right now is bullish. And if you look at this price action that literally began the beginning of 2023, right here, this is January 1st, 16,000. Now we're basically double that at 31,000. And remember, the bear market, this is January of 2022. We had a strict year of a bear market, and now I believe we're entering a strict year of, again, like I said, half in between bull and bear, but ultimately we'll be very, very bullish, especially the closer and closer we get to 2024 and the closer and closer we get to the halving. So if you're looking at this price action right here, with each of these higher lows and each of these higher highs, and you think this is still just a bearish whatever, I'm sorry, each and every one of these pumps, you should be not getting some sense knocked into you. And it's actually crazy to me that there's still so many people that are still mega bearish, because believe it or not, there are. I posted something yesterday about 10,000 being a dream, and somebody commented like, nobody's actually saying 10K, bro. You can leave that narrative alone. No, believe me, I read thousands of comments. People still believe in 10,000, 6,000, even lower. There's still people out there that believe that. And that's good for us, because the more people that believe something like that, the better it is for people that are kind of staying in reality. Because, if everyone was absolutely completely bullish, that's not usually a good sign. Luckily, there's still a lot of people that are, well, they almost have no reason to believe, or they have no reason to stop believing in 10K, because a lot of people unfortunately sold at 15, 16, 17, 18,000 because other people were telling them, other influencers were telling them, we're going down to 10K, we're going down to 8K, we're going down to 6K. Okay, I know you might not see it in my comments that much, but there are a lot of people that still believe that this is just one giant bull trap. In fact, the biggest bull trap of all time. And we're going to 10K. But realistically, does that make a lot of sense? As I said, technically anything's possible. Do I think it makes a lot of sense? I think it makes very, very, very little sense. And as we talked about, again, look on the 30-day chart of this. MACD crossing over, our very first peak above this absolutely key moving average on the monthly chart. Momentum is swinging a certain direction. Our very first peak, again, above the $30,000 resistance since April, and then before that it was over a year ago. It's very obvious what's happening. Will we get a pullback at some point? Yes. Okay, we will get a pullback at some point. As I said, though, I will look to that as support before then continuing this trend. Time is not on the bear side, and time is absolutely on the side of the bulls now. But now, I mean, looking back, if you fancy yourself as somebody who's really good at timing markets and everything, and you took advantage of this entire bear market and you made a lot of money doing this, congratulations. You did a really good job. If you're still holding on to this bias at this point, though, and you've been punished for the past 6 months, my only question would be why? Why are you still... It was clear that, when we kept setting macro lower highs and lower lows, okay, yeah, this is a dumpy trend, right? And it could keep going lower. But now... that trend has changed. So if you still are biased towards believing, no, we're still within this. Why? My question is why? And take advantage of massive deposit and sign-up bonuses with Femex and BitGet below if you're interested in longing or shorting this market. Currently, I'm up about $23,000 in profit. Again, I personally believe some of these gains will be much bigger over the next couple of months. But obviously, there are going to be dumps. Both out for the Magoo. That's it for me.